Good morning, good afternoon there, folks. It is the Earthmaster here on this Sunday, May 15th, 2022 date, about 11:27 a.m. California time. Latest quake shows a 2.2 earthquake here around the Oklahoma area, it looks like, right there on the earthquake 3D globe. Let's go ahead and check out some specifics around the area. Stand by for just a second. There we go. Showing some movement out there across the lower 48 states. Got that one earthquake, a 2.4, the latest quake on the map outside of Fairview. It looks like a little swarm of activity into the region. Just go ahead and verify the activity that I'm suspecting out here. Looks like definitely quite a few fracking and, well, not fracking, oil pumping operations and injection wells out here amongst the land in these square boxes. Within probably, it looks like 100 feet, 200 feet or so of the nearest one. Backing out of here, looking at the rest of the southern plains, some movement north, and also some activity picking up here around the western parts of Texas, out in the further gas and oil well operation fields. Eastern part of the country, looks like one earthquake here around the Appalachian Mountains, Lafayette, Georgia, 1.9. at 5.1 kilometers there into the Georgia region. And of course we had that earthquake up here last night at 2.5. It looks like they did have another earthquake just off the shore or the coast of Rhode Island area. Yeah, kind of odd, not for sure what's going on up here. 2.5 and a 2.2 in that area. Western coast lighten up across the board today. A lot of red circles on the map indicating the most recent earthquake activity here within about the last hour. Looks like the Elsinore fault system getting a little activity up and down the length of that fault system there in Southern California. The San Jacinto fault area as well, seeing quite a bit of movement up and down the specific fault there. Let's see, what do we got here? One or two earthquakes down here along the Brawley and the Imperial fault. The Salton Sea area north into the San Andreas fault looks pretty quiet for now. Working our way up north into the Ridgecrest region. Seeing some activity, of course, lighting up here within the last hour. And some movement overnight as well. No significant swarming. That's about typical movement right there for now. Could see some activity here yesterday at the bend. Kind of see this little bend in the plate boundary here. That is on the San Andreas fault. I've seen some activity there, kick up at 3.3, and a couple smaller microquakes in that region yesterday and overnight. One earthquake here around the Templeton area of California, 1.2, somewhat shallow there at about 4 kilometers on the Pacific side of the plate boundary. Let's see, working our way up north here. Of course, you got Cobb Mountain, Clear Lake Volcanic Field, a lot of earthquakes happening there around the Geyser Geothermal Field, and another earthquake up here around Mount Lassen, a 2.0 this time. Over the last week, we did see one other earthquake, a 1.6, within the vicinity of Mount Lassen. It does occasionally get a couple earthquakes here and there, but if we start seeing a swarm, then that's something to take note of and maybe keep a watchful eye out. But for now, just a couple small microquakes around that region over the last week. Last earthquake here was from yesterday, 2.0, into the southern end of the Cascadia. Today it looks pretty quiet, not a whole lot showing up on the board as far as earthquake activity goes. Same for the Intermountain West region. Right now it kind of looks like Southern Cal area appears to be the hot spot of movement kicking up right now. Alaska, low activity up there through the mainland area, it looks like. Backing out here, things kind of not a whole lot going on if you look at the world view. Hold on a second here. Got low activity up around the Kilauea Volcano crater area, and some further movement down in the southeast flank. I do want to check out just real quick the status here of the Hawaiian volcanoes, which I believe are still roughly as they are. They have been for quite a while. The latest update here on the Kilauea volcano, which was put out yesterday, shows that the summit eruption of Kilauea volcano within the crater has continued over the past 24 hours. All recent lava activity has been confined to the crater, and current data indicate that this scenario is likely to continue. It's been that way for a couple months now, a few months now. No significant changes have been noted in the summit or the East Rift Zone. So all as is on the Big Island for now. Let's go ahead and bounce back over here. Western Pacific, just a couple spotty earthquakes. We did notice a 5.5 on the Mariana Trench, Mariana Islands area. That earthquake at about 19 kilometers, and low activity throughout Papua New Guinea and southward along this plate boundary here. New Zealand did see some further movement. Actually, this is from last night. It's 4.2, but they did see low activity earlier this morning upstream along the Kermadec Trench of 4.9. Pretty shallow earthquake there at 10 kilometers. The rest of the map here looks pretty minimal, folks. We do have a total lunar eclipse tonight. Depending on your timestamp, your time zone, it's going to vary. For out here on the west coast, it's going to be roughly around between 8:30 or so. I can't remember the exact time frame, but we're going to be taking some pictures of that later tonight, seeing how that looks. I always love a good eclipse. I prefer a solar eclipse, but we'll take a lunar eclipse. Kind of neat to see as well. Low activity here around the Maple Creek region, Yellowstone National Park. Aside from that, no unusual earthquake activity. We do have one over here. Within the last 30 minutes, it looks like a little earthquake there kicking up again on the eastern side of the park. This earthquake did show up across the Lake Butte and the Promontory Zone. Notice over here, though, just barely being picked up. Barely a signature of it, that indicating that it's further east over here. But then again, for whatever reason, nothing showing up here on the USGS map in that area. So if you recall, we did have that 4.2 over there in that area where we're seeing that current movement. A few days ago, 4.2 is fairly deep as well. So this earthquake activity on the map looks like it's definitely deep, just due to the signature that's really not being picked up over here along the western portion of the park. And the signature itself here within probably the epicenter region doesn't look all localized as far as surface activity goes. So some further deep movement, earthquake activity there on the eastern edge of Yellowstone National Park. Looks like a little swarm, well, I can't really say if that's earthquake activity or not. Doesn't look like it. Some of it does, some of it doesn't. Kind of looks like some type of glitches there in the system. All right, let's see what else we got. Tremor map last night was pretty impressive. 465 epicenters of tremor, most of it confined here to Northern California. That's quite a bit of tremor, with hardly any backbuilding of quakes right now. So we've been keeping a look on the live Petrolia station, seeing how that thing is working, seeing if we're getting some earthquake activity or not there in Northern Cal that's not being reported. Let's go ahead and check out the Mount St. Helens region here into the state of Washington. See if we got any activity ongoing here. It's been kind of microquake activity here for a couple weeks now, and there's definitely some quakes kicking up. These are well-defined quakes. Even these little ones here too. Looks quite active over the last 12 hours or so. Still kind of curious to see about this little image right here. I'm watching that pretty closely, seeing if that does pop up again, because there was a similar type signature the day prior. A lot of times that can be an indicator of some type of movement underground. Let's see what else we got. Solar weather activity, aside from earthquake activity, is what I'm talking about there on that signature. Let's go ahead and check out the solar weather events real quick, see if I can get the correct page kicked up here. We do have quite the number of sunspots kicking up into view, with a pretty rapidly growing developing sunspot here around 3011. See these two circles there indicating that massive sunspot growth. 3007 is Earth directed, and a couple of these other ones will be as well. As far as the dynamics go, there's not a whole lot of complexity in the polarity of the fields, but we'll watch these other sunspots as they come back around and give us a show potentially next week. Looks like they did up the 3-day geomagnetic forecast due to the solar wind activity from the coronal holes there over the past couple days. That will be the culprit up here. Now kind of turning away from us a little bit, but over the last couple days they've been within view. And looks like we could have a little bit of storming at the higher latitudes, nothing significant. We did get some KP index up around the 4 last night, but things look kind of calm for now, mellowing out, but there is that expectation or forecast there for some heightened development. But then again, nothing major to write home about there. Let's see. Yeah, flare activity currently looking pretty steady following yesterday's M flare that kicked up there, M2.2. Since then, we've seen almost a continuous C flare event. See it right there in the threshold of the C flare level, C class. And so far, nothing kicking up this morning. No major solar flares to report on here. So we'll see definitely how it goes in the coming week. And don't forget, like I said, the eclipse tonight, folks, going to be pretty cool. We'll be out there taking some pictures. I'm going to attempt to stream it, see if I can get that going. I got to find a cord or two to be able to hook up to my Zoom cam and see if I can't get that on the live stream a little bit later tonight. But for now, hope everyone enjoys their day. Please stay safe out there, and if you do get some cool pictures tonight of the eclipse, feel free to send them to the channel here, earthmastermail@gmail.com. You can find my email address in the description of the channel, and we'll if you allow us to, we'll show that here on the stream tomorrow of the eclipse. If you get some cool pictures or some video, because we're always looking to share some stuff out there from you folks, whether you find something odd in the sky or interesting activities around the earth. Please feel free to send them here to earthmastermail@gmail.com, and we'll look them over. But please make sure you include your name, location, date, maybe what we're looking at or what we think we're looking at, and we'll try to get it up here on the show. All right, guys, we'll chat you a little bit later tonight. Unless something major happens, stay safe out there.